Dave Canterbury. Some people love him, and some people have a full-on meltdown when his name is mentioned. So I had to find out, why is Dave so controversial? Here's what I uncovered. Okay, so first and foremost, tap that little like button right there if you remember Dual Survival and you remember watching it on a TV attached to a wall with commercials that you couldn't fast forward through. I know, that feels like a lifetime ago, and it kind of was. Dual Survival was my introduction to Dave, and even back then in 2010, I understood that reality survival TV was just that, television, entertainment, and I enjoyed it as such. When the producers of Dual Survival teamed up Cody, the barefoot hippie bodybuilder survivalist, with Dave Canterbury, the hardcore military guy, you knew that it was going to get interesting, which is the whole point of TV. Controversy, entertainment, and drama and suspense. Interesting, I guess, is a little bit of an understatement, because there was a proper battle of wills between Cody and Dave on how to do the survival. Now, how much of that conflict was scripted and how much of it wasn't, who knows, but that combo of Dave and Cody, I personally think, helped take that first season of Dual Survival and make it as popular as what it was. But then something crazy happened. Dave got canceled. He didn't come back for another season. And we all were kind of wondering, what the hell happened?
Now, Dual Survival is back with all new episodes and a brand new partner for Cody Lundin. Special Operations veteran Joe Tedeye.
In season 3, they introduced a new guy, Joe Tedeye, and the rumors started to circulate. Accusations of stolen valor, to be exact, and I think these accusations originated on Bushcraft USA. I'm not 100% sure on that, but whatever the case was, Discovery Channel found there was some, let's say, issues with his resume. You know what? Let's step back for a minute and pause, because I just realized this video wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for this guy being triggered by the sight of Dave Canterbury's face for literally, let's count it, 1-2 seconds, which triggered me to make this video. So yeah, that comment got me thinking a little bit. I wanted to know what Dave's origin story was, right? So where did he come from? What's going on? He was born in 1963 in Indiana, USA, and his parents divorced at an early age. His dad was a bit of an adventure junkie, skydiver, paraglider, that type of stuff, from what I understand, what the internet tells me. Take it for what it's worth. And his stepdad was a bit of a woodsman, and all that kind of makes sense considering who Dave grew up to be. At the age of 17, he enlisted in the Army and served from 81 to 87, and during this time period, he went to some different schools, including the 4th ID sniper course, from what I understand, and was basically, for all general purposes, a military policeman. So he served his time, did his thing, was deployed to Korea, and that's about it. 6 years. And when he got out, he moved to Florida, and again, from what I understand on the internet, he became a commercial fisherman and also a marsh diver, which, being a Floridian myself, you couldn't pay me enough money to be a marsh diver. I don't even know why people are diving in marshes, maybe looking for clams or something, but yeah, I try to avoid marshes as much as humanly possible. And then he launched the Pathfinder School, where he still serves today as a co-owner and instructor. And that's a pretty freaking big deal. Launching your own small business, yeah, big deal. And then it becoming successful, even bigger deal. And I know a little bit about that because I own 2 small businesses. And I can tell you right now that, people say, oh, well, you just make your own hours. And, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. I'll tell you what, I make my own hours. They're 24/7, and it's a lot of work and it's a lot of stress. Yeah, I love what I do, but it's also work. So credit to Dave for launching his own business and being quite successful at it. During this time, he coined the phrase 5 C's of survival, and I've heard some people say that he stole that from a mountaineering book or got that from somewhere else. Whatever the case is, I don't see anybody legitimately coming after him and saying, I trademarked that phrase or whatever. He packaged it very well and made it very popular, and that was one of the first things that that's kind of how I found Dave Canterbury, was through the 5 C's of survival, and I use that to this day to pack out the foundations for my bug out bag. So props to him for launching his own business, props to him for packaging the 5 C's of survival. Good job. And then, check this out, during that time period, he launched his YouTube channel, and that was back in the day when YouTube was pretty new, and he was he was one of the first ones out there, I think, with a legit survival, bushcraft, self-reliance channel, and he brought that message to a global audience and was quite successful for it, which means the people were kind of dying for that type of information. So once again, credit to him for launching a successful YouTube channel and spreading the message. Everything is going great for Dave. And then he's like, hey, you know what? I heard about this dual survival show. I'm going to go audition for that. And then things start to go a little sideways because, yeah, he lied a little. Or, well, let me be honest. He lied a lot. He said he was a ranger. Not a ranger. He said he had multiple combat deployments or one deployment, or he said he was in combat, whatever. No, that was not the case. He said he was a sniper. Nope. Said he was a scout. Nope, 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 nope. And just lots of freaking lies. And obviously, the dude lied to get on the show. He lied to improve his odds, and it obviously worked until it didn't work. And Discovery Channel looked at his resume a little deeper and was like, yeah, And I guess you could say it's kind of sad because the guy already had a legit resume. Why lie about it? It always confuses me when people do that. And what a terrible time to lie and do the whole stolen valor thing. Because if you recall, back in the mid-2000s, everybody was getting busted for stolen valor. And yeah, some of them were a little more obvious than others, you could say, like this guy right here. But look, the dude gave a public apology in 2013. I've linked to that video down below. Go check it out. And a public apology and owning your mistake is pretty freaking powerful, and I give him credit for that. And that's a lot more than Joe Tedai did, who also lied about his resume, and it's a lot more than Tim Kennedy did. Or did he apologize? I don't think he did. I think he is doubled down on his freaking lies and his exaggerations about his combat experience over in like foreign lands. You know, it's like crazy. It's like, dude, why are you lying about this stuff? Your resume is already legit. Tim Kennedy just blows my mind. I was actually pretty disappointed with that one, but yeah, I digress. And then what about Joe Tedai? Whatever happened to him? Maybe I should do a video on that dude. I don't know. All right, so here's the big question that I'm going to pose to you. Can Dave Canterbury be redeemed? Can he be forgiven? Can we appreciate him for everything he's done for the bushcraft community, from the best-selling books to the Pathfinder School to the line of products he sells on his website? I mean, the dude is obviously legit. He obviously loves what he's doing, and it shows through his multiple business setups and arrangements and all the stuff he's got going on. And I've heard a lot of people say a lot of things about Dave Canterbury, but there's one thing I've never heard them say, and it's this. I've never heard anybody say that Dave Canterbury is a fake survivalist, that he doesn't know what he's doing. I'll be honest with you. If I was in a survival situation, I'd be pretty stoked to have Dave Canterbury by my side. So here's how I look at it. It's literally been 15 years. He issued an apology, and he doesn't do it anymore. So that's good enough for me. 15 freaking years. I can appreciate him for what he has brought to the community, and I can appreciate him for some of the products that he's helped design that I use in my survival gear, like the Pathfinder cook set. I know some people complain, it's made in China. I don't give a crap. The phone that you're watching is made in China. The TV that you watch is made in China. 80% of the car that you drive or vehicle you drive is probably made in China, so I think people really nitpick on that one. For me, shoot, $60 for a stainless steel cook set, you can't beat it, and I've been using it for years. So yeah, I can just go off of that little bit of experience and what I've learned from him. And granted, yeah, sure, a lot of it's on the internet. All of it's on the internet. I don't know the guy in real life. Maybe he's a jerk. Maybe he has shady business dealings. I can just go off of my limited experience with him. And like I said, I've learned a lot from him, use his products. Seems like a good dude. And yeah, he made a mistake and he apologized and I moved on. But that being said, I'd love to hear your opinion on it. Some people crash out when they hear his name. Some people have a more nuanced take. But for me, I got some coffee to enjoy. And it's a beautiful day out here. I'm going to kick back and relax. It's enough internet drama for me. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Yeah. Yep. That's interesting, isn't it? Dave Canterbury. Fucking Dave Canterbury.